Hi, good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope all of you would be absolutely fit and fine, safe and healthy. Okay, welcome back to my channel. Okay, and I'm creating multiple videos in this playlist, introducing this phrase playlist. Okay, about the AWS services. Okay, and the resources and the content which I'm going to upload in this playlist itself. Okay, that is definitely will be perspective to the AWS Solution Architect Associate Level exam itself. Okay, so whatever video content I'm going to upload in this playlist, okay, gradually, that will be very helpful for preparing and understanding the AWS services with respect to the this exam preparation, right? AWS Associate Solution Architect examination. Okay. So for that perspective, I'm introducing this playlist, okay, and we'll be enriching this playlist, okay, gradually with multiple interesting videos itself, okay. So keep connected, okay, to the channel. Please like and subscribe the channel itself, okay, so that you will be automatically notified for all of my upcoming videos in this playlist, okay, whenever I upload any new content to this playlist itself. Okay? So, in the same direction, the first topic is understanding cloud and AWS. Okay, what is cloud computing? So, let us understand a very small definition that cloud computing refers to on-demand remote availability of resources such as computing power, data storage, networking, and so on, in order to establish and configure a complete IT infrastructure remotely and accessing the same virtually. Okay, so what does this mean? Like, for our business, whatever software applications or the web portals or the e-commerce portal or any respective application or the workload that we run in our on-premise environment, okay, and we configure the softwares, configure the servers physically, right? The computers, the servers, the power system, okay, and the storage system, all those are configured. All those resources and infrastructure is configured on-premise, okay. All those all those steps we require in order to run the application that is related to our business, okay. So it is a kind of on-premise data center that we host in our physical environment. Cloud computing is that cloud computing provides the similar set of resource configuration on cloud. Okay, so on the cloud environment, virtually we can have all these resources on demand, like computing power, data storage, networking, database server, application server, everything we can configure on the cloud itself. Okay, so that is exact, and we can access that virtually, and we can host our application or the workload on that virtual environment on the cloud. Okay, and the application, the workload will keep on running. Okay, as usual. So that is basically the cloud computing. Okay, I'll explain in Hindi also for my Hindi audience and friends. आपके बिजनेस को रन करने के लिए आप जो भी सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशंस होते हैं या वेबसाइट्स या वेब पोर्टल्स होते हैं उनको रन करने के लिए और एनी इंटरनल एप्लीकेशंस, ठीक है, रन करने के लिए जो आपके फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होते हैं जो आप अपने ऑन प्रोमाइस इन्वायरमेंट पे कॉन्फ़िगर करते हो, लाइक कंप्यूटर्स, सर्वर्स, डेटाबेस सर्वर्स, एप्लीकेशन सर्वर्स, दैट इज जो आपका फिजिकल डेटा सेंटर होता है. इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ स्मॉल डेटा सेंटर इन योर फिजिकल लोकेशन. ठीक है, सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ फिजिकल similar kind of configuration is there on the cloud. Okay, cloud environment पे there are various cloud providers जो इस तरह के आपका फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड करते हैं जहां पे वो सारे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को आप कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हो, क्रिएट कर सकते हो, और आप अपने सारे एप्लीकेशंस जो आपके बिजनेस के लिए रिक्वायर्ड हैं, चाहे वो आपका वेबसाइट हो, आपका इंटरनल सॉफ्टवेयर एप्लीकेशंस हो, ठीक है, उन सारे एप्लीकेशंस को आप उस क्लाउड इन्वायरमेंट पे होस्ट कर सकते हो. ठीक है, और अपने वो सारे एप्लीकेशंस को आप चला सकते हो. ओके, सो वो एक वर्चुअल इन्वायरमेंट जो हमें मिलता है, ठीक है, जिसके ऊपर हम ये सारे रिसोर्सेज को कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं और वो सारे एप्लीकेशंस को हम होस्ट करते हैं, दैट इज एक्चुअली कॉल्ड द क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग. ओके, there are many companies who provide the cloud computing services known as cloud service provider. मार्केट में बहुत सारे कंपनीज हैं जो क्लाउड सर्विसिंग यानी इस प्रकार के वर्चुअल क्लाउड इन्वायरमेंट प्रोवाइड करते हैं जहां पे हम वर्चुअल रिसोर्स को, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को कॉन्फ़िगर कर सकते हैं. दे आर मेजरली दे आर द AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Clouds, okay, Alibaba Clouds. There are many cloud service providers are there in the market, but out of them, AWS is at the top. Okay, AWS is the premier cloud service provider among all the service providers itself. Okay, and after that, there are Microsoft Azure, and then Google Cloud Platform, and so on. Their particular series are there. Okay. The services are available to the users over internet. All these services are available via internet to us. Okay, we have the complete console. हमें एक complete management console मिलता है जहां से हम log in कर सकते हैं with a provided credential and the proper authentication and authorization process. And after that, we can manage our services, manage and monitor all those services, all those applications that we have been hosted, okay, on the cloud itself. और उसमें पूरे इन्वायरमेंट एंड पूरे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को मेंटेन करने का, मैनेज करने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो होती है वो क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स की होती है. जैसा फिजिकल लोकेशन पे हम डेटा सेंटर बनाते हैं और फिजिकल लोकेशंस पे हमारे सर्वर्स होते हैं, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं, तो उनको मेंटेन करने की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारी होती है. लाइक 24/7 पावर सप्लाई, 24/7 इंटरनेट अवेलेबिलिटी, ओके, and all the required prerequisites, okay, in order to keep the वर्कलोड रनिंग 24/7, है ना, जो हमें ध्यान रखना पड़ता है कि पावर हमेशा कंटिन्यू रहे, इंटरनेट की कनेक्टिविटी हमेशा मिलती रहे. ओके, ऑल दोज इन्वायरमेंट की देख रेख की जिम्मेदारी हमारी होती है. ओके, सिमिलरली इन टर्म्स ऑफ द क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, जब ये सारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हम वर्चुअली कॉन्फ़िगर करते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ एनी क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, so we are not responsible for the maintaining and managing all those infrastructure itself. Okay, ये सारी responsibility cloud service provider की होती है. But like if we are going to buy these services from AWS, then AWS is responsible for managing and maintaining all this infrastructure itself. Okay, so we are completely free about the administration and management part. Okay, the only we have to host our application or the workload on the cloud, okay, and that will keep on running on its way. Okay, and administration and management responsibility is not on us, it is on completely on the cloud service provider itself. Okay, so that was a small brief of cloud computing itself. Let us move ahead. What is AWS? Amazon Web Service is one of the top cloud service provider. Like we discussed, there are many cloud service providers in the market, like AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, IBM Cloud, Alibaba Cloud. There are many are there. Okay, but out of which AWS is the premier and the top cloud service provider. Okay, and it is offering more than 200 services. Okay, across different categories like compute categories, database categories, serverless categories. Okay. There are more than 200 services are available on demand, and that is on cloud itself. Okay. Okay. So let it be any smaller, medium, or large scale enterprise companies can make the use of these services. Okay. And the pricing model of all the services are very flexible. They are pay as you go or pay per use pricing model itself. Like so. How long the resources we are using on the cloud itself? Okay, for that period itself, we have AWS is going to charge us. Okay, so there are many serverless resources itself. Okay, which runs on demand only. Instead, keep it running on entire 24/7. Okay, so in terms of pricing, also those resources are very flexible. Okay, and the charges are on the run basis itself. Okay, the pay as we go and the pay per use model itself. Okay, so it's an analysis diagram that we can see here that AWS has covered 31% market cover. Okay, in terms of cloud service providers spend itself. After that, Microsoft Azure, that is covering 26% of the market. then Google Cloud, then 10%, and after that 34% for other remaining cloud service provider like IBM and Alibaba, and there are many cloud service providers itself. So this is the report of fourth quarter of 2023. Okay, from Canalys, you can go on its websites also. You can view this analytics itself. Okay, that reports us that AWS stands at the top of the cloud service provider. Okay, that is that has covered the maximum part of the market itself. Okay, so that is about the cloud. That is about the AWS. Okay, and its presence. Why to go with AWS? Let us understand this. Okay, AWS offers following features along with all of its cloud services itself. So when we are hosting applications in our local premises, there are multiple responsibilities and burdens on us, like maintaining the power, maintaining the internet connectivity. Okay, and we have to keep the machine running all the time. Okay, 24/7, 365 days. Okay, and in case the application grows up, the traffic, the workload and the traffic of the application grows up. In that case, we have to add the extra resources. Okay, we have to purchase the extra hard disk, extra storage, the extra computing power, and we have to add on these resources to the existing infrastructure itself. Okay, and we have to pay completely upfront. Okay, in order to for all the physical resources. Okay, and whatever supporting services are like power availability, internet, and for everything we have to pay the upfront charges. Okay, maybe so. When going with the cloud like AWS, it has multiple features here, like a scalability. Like when our application grows or the requirement, the traffic on the application, the users of the applications grows up. Okay, AWS automatically manages and scales the skills of the application infrastructure itself. Okay, on demand. And when traffic comes down, okay, and when there is less consumption of the application or the resources itself, okay, then it will automatically scale down the resources itself, so that it will be very cost effective. Okay, and no additional and unnecessary charges will occur on us for the services itself. So that is a scalability, right? Cost efficiency, as you discussed, like it is going to charge us on pay per use model. Okay, there are two types of service categories, like server based and the serverless itself. Okay, on the server based instances, like if you are using EC2 instances, okay, for our application server or database server itself. Okay, and then in that case, AWS is going to charge for the period or for the time our instances are keep on running itself. Okay, so that is the server based solution. But when going with the serverless solutions itself, like there are S3 storage, okay, DynamoDB, AWS Lambda for the database, S3 object storage for the storing objects itself, like files, images, and textual contents itself. Okay, so their pricing model is completely flexible. That is pay as we go and pay per use model itself. Okay, and that is going to charge us only for the period those services are running on, and that is on demand itself. Okay, so in terms of the cost efficiency, AWS is also preferable. Global accessibility, right? So AWS has its presence across 190 countries, and the number is increasing itself. That is around the world. Okay, and so it has completely global accessibility itself. Okay, let the user of the application or the domain anywhere across the world. Okay, we can build and host the application as per their regional locations itself. Okay, that is about the global accessibility. Okay, security, AWS is highly secure. The infrastructure from AWS have been custom built security implementations. Okay, all the security provisions and implementations have been done as per the environment of the as per the infrastructure of the AWS itself. Okay, and that is very secure in terms of security. Okay. Reliability and available. Our applications are completely fault tolerance. Okay. And it is highly available because we can host the application on multiple geographical locations and across the multiple availability zone itself. We will understand what is the reason, what is the about the complete AWS infrastructure in upcoming videos. Like around the world, there are different geographical locations where AWS has spread its services. Within the geographical locations, there are regions. It divided into the regions. Okay, then after the availability zones in each region, there are multiple availability zones. Okay, and so we can segregate the services and we can host the services simultaneously in multiple availability zones. So in case one availability zones gets come down, okay, for or some kind of failure, the another availability zones, the services hosted, the similar set of services hosted in other availability zone will come up and will start serving the workload itself. Okay, so in that way, it is completely highly available and reliable itself. Okay, and very uh, zero downtime we can meet for our application and workload. Automation and management. There are multiple sets of automated tools and the management tools on AWS console. Okay, that makes our workload very easy and in terms of monitoring and handling the application, managing the applications itself. Okay, multiple recommendations also AWS gives us. Like where we are overusing the resources, underusing the resources, over provisioning, under provisioning of the resources, so that we can go and stop the resources. Okay, or we can terminate it uh, temporarily, okay, which are not being used, okay, and not be is our provision itself, okay. So all those recommendations and the suggestions are every on the time basis. AWS recommends all these recommendations itself. Okay, so in terms of automation and management, AWS provides multiple tools, okay, and services itself. Okay, development and integration tools. There are multiple development and integration tools also that can be integrated with our custom applications. Okay, multiple kind of language SDK provided by AWS itself. Let it be our custom application be developed in any language, like it is in .NET Core, Python, Java, okay, any language. AWS provides the SDK, software development kit, for all of its services and resources, okay, for all the available languages itself. Okay, so in that terms, AWS is also very rich. Okay, so all these features are very interesting features of AWS that attracts us to build or host our applications on AWS cloud infrastructure itself. Okay, so that was about why we should go about the AWS. Okay, the points we discussed, that has very few, but there are many other features and the attractive points from AWS services itself. Okay, let us understand and know about the history of AWS, like its origin and its incremental growth and development. Okay, so the first in 2003, Chris Pinkham and Benjamin Black presented the idea of integrated web services. Okay, so they started with this idea, like we should have some integrated kind of platform for the web services in virtual form. Okay, so that was the first step. In 2004, AWS launched its first AWS service, that is Simple Queue Service, SQS. Okay, that was the second milestone from AWS. That SQS service that is used for the for connecting the decoupled application architecture on the layers itself. Okay, like multiple microservices need to connect to one another. Okay, and exchanging the messages and the information payloads. Okay, so for that purpose, AWS has launched its Simple Queue Service, SQS service itself. In 2006, AWS was officially launched with S3, Simple Storage Service. Okay, that is, it's a global service where we can store our objects like images, text, okay, documents, okay, all those objects we can store on S3 service itself. Okay, and that can be integrated with our custom application itself, like our business websites, we can connect and show the images from fetch the page and show the images within the website and the portal itself. Okay, and it is highly the latency of retrieving the images is uh, very performant, and there is very zero latency itself, and very uh, less latency, okay, in terms of retrieving the object from the S3, okay, and increases the user experience itself. So that was the third milestone from AWS launching its S3 service. In 2007, AWS launched its compute instance, that is EC2 compute service. Okay, EC2 compute service and the simple kind of database service. Okay, so EC2 is a service from AWS that used to create the virtual machine, okay, virtual computers on AWS infrastructure. So that was the fourth milestone, the computing service on AWS cloud infrastructure. That was EC2 launched by AWS. In 2009, AWS launched VPC, Virtual Private Cloud. Virtual Private Cloud is the virtual networking service where we can create and configure the complete network infrastructure on AWS. Okay, that the similar kind of network that we have on our on-premise data center itself, the similar kind of network we can create on AWS cloud. So that service is called VPC, Virtual Private Cloud, and within that VPC we can configure the EC2 instances. We can create our server, application servers, database servers. Okay, so that is the VPC service that was launched in 2009. Okay, and in 2010, its retail websites of Amazon.com that was completely moved on AWS infrastructure. Okay, before that they were running on some different infrastructure itself, but in 2010 they have completely moved this retail portal on its own AWS infrastructure itself. In 2010 itself. Okay. In 2012, they had its global conference first reInvent conference. Okay, where they introduced about their services, their new launches. Okay, so in 2012 they have started this conference itself. 2013, the AWS entered into the training and certifications area. They started providing AWS certification and training to the community. Okay, and 2015, the AWS earned a revenue of $6 billion. Okay, that was the reported revenue from AWS itself in 2015. 2016, AWS and another technology company, that is DXC, they have declared their joint venture and declared their expansion itself. Okay, so that was a AWS joint hands with DXC technology itself in 2017. 2019, AWS made 37% annual growth, and that was 12% of Amazon's total revenue. Okay, so Amazon's total revenue, out of that, 12% was from AWS services itself. Okay, so that was 37% annual growth of AWS. In 2022, AWS introduced Code Whisperer, one of its first AI service for coders or developers. So Code Whisperer is a service like GitHub Copilot that provides the Copilot assistance for the developers and coders for the enhancing the code standard and quality standard of the coding. Okay, so that is kind of from the various kinds of suggestions and recommendations in terms of the language specific coding itself. So that is a kind of Code Whisperer service. So that was launched by 2022 by AWS. Further importance of AWS cloud professional market trends. Cloud computing market is very huge and keep on increasing. Okay, that all around we can see that there's a huge requirement of cloud engineers and cloud professional itself. AWS professional earns a handsome take-home salary, and AWS engineers and the cloud engineers from AWS, okay, earning a very handsome remuneration from the industry itself. Okay, around 60% of the cloud computing jobs are required by AWS skill set. So that is also a fact that where are there are the openings and the requirements of cloud engineers. Okay, it is AWS a skill set or certification is must. Okay, that we can understand about this clearly. So all those things about the importance of AWS professional market trends, so that uh, we can understand what is the importance of learning the cloud with AWS. Okay. So in next video, we are going to discuss about AWS global infrastructure. That is a different topic, and that is also going to be a long discussion. So for this video, I'm concluding this topic about the basic understanding of understanding cloud and AWS. Stay connected for the next upcoming video. That will be about we will understand the global infrastructure of AWS. Okay, and its presence globally. Okay. So that was about this video. I'm going to conclude this video as of now. Stay connected, stay happy, stay healthy. Okay. And looking forward to connect on the upcoming videos itself. Okay. And guys, I would request, like, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please like and subscribe the channel itself. Okay. This is to encourage the team. It is really motivating and encouraging us to prepare such more interesting videos for the community and our developer friends. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.